Hi, my loves. It's your Related Girl from Around the Way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I wanted to come to you all with some commentary about your girl, Tyga, the South African queen. Okay, now before I hop into my commentary, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I wanted to come here because I had made a post on TikTok, and I'll play it here. So Tyla was recently performing in a very Britney inspired, Britney coded outfit, okay? And so she had a lot to say, basically like, I don't know that lady, sorry to that lady, and this was not inspired from here. And honestly, y'all, the Tyla hate train is real, but I'm starting to see how and why she is being heavily pushed in our markets, but she doesn't really understand the culture. And much like she stood up there on the Breakfast Club and turned to her assistant or turned to whoever was managing her when Charlemagne was asking her about the whole color and the black thing, she should turn to that lady and ask her, what am I missing with American culture, specifically Black American culture, so I can bridge the gap? Okay, because it's something that's not clicking when it comes to us. If you're going to be over here, you got to learn the rules. And I'm not saying you got to be, whatever, be you, girl, but learn the rules of engagement. And I think this is why she's rubbing the people wrong. And not even say like Britney is a part of the culture. I mean, ours, but a little bit she is. Like, we love and respect Britney. So don't, Tyla, please, girl. And I feel like I had my feel when it comes to Tyla and this whole like thing that she has going on. But I feel like when I made that video and I saw all of the posts from a lot of what I'm going to assume are South Africans, just based off of the flags that they had in their names, I wanted to say, listen, I think we need to have a bigger conversation. And so here we are today, sister. Yes. So basically, a lot of people in the comments were saying that I was a hater. I just don't like her because she's African. I just don't like her because she's beautiful and everything like this. And I wanted to kind of take a moment to tap in with you guys because I think there is a larger conversation around Tyla and her inability to really translate and tap into this market in a huge way. Again, she has a lot of the workings that makes for a great successful pop star. However, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And I'm sure that she is reaching, very high levels of commercial success. But in order to really be the super mega pop star, like a Britney Spears, like a Rihanna, like a Beyonce, that's in no particular order, let's be clear. Um, there has to be the factor of, undeniability and likability. And I believe she's lacking in one of the departments. Now, I think it's interesting because Tyla is a very thin, very beautiful, exotical. Of course, she could come over here and sweep it up and, get a whole big wad of cash and all niggas and everything like this if she really wanted to, right? Um, but when it comes to some of the things that she says, when it comes to some of the things that she does, it just constantly rubs specifically Black Americans wrong. Now, love it or hate it, maybe we're not even her target audience. I don't know. She's doing pop music and piano. I don't know the difference. I mean, she does not consider herself Black, and that's okay. She subscribes to another form of racism, so she considers herself colored. And that's okay. I'm not saying that to be funny or to be whatever. I mean, a little bit I am because listen, you know, I think it's unfortunate that she had that moment at the Breakfast Club when she could not say whether or not she considered herself Black when obviously she is a mixed exotical. Um, and she decided to say, colored and then recant and say, of course I'm Black and whatever. And the truth of the matter is when we are all in colonized states of mind, we all have different ideologies that we subscribe to, right, girls? Some people are Afro-Latino, some people are Black American, some people are just simply colored. And I think that rubbed us the wrong way. But when it comes down to her Coachella performance, right? She's wearing a very Britney inspired look. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think all of her looks have been inspired by the Christina Aguilera's Dirty era. Right. I think she is taking a piece of the early 2000s pop star, pop girl, because that is where she wants to go. I mean, I can see the influences. And I'm not just saying that because I'm being hater or shady. It's just because this is American culture. This is the music that I grew up to, so I can speak on it with authority. With authority. This is not me saying, oh, that's not this, that, and the third. So she wears this outfit that was very inspired by the Britney, um, I think VMA's performance. Actually, I want to have some clips in here and you can actually see what's going on. She was carrying out this huge snake. She was at the peak and the height of, Britney as a pop star. And whether or not you believe or subscribe or you're on a hate train of Britney, that girl is who she is. That girl is who she is. And if I was in the industry of singing music and pop songs and pop stars, she is one to revere, whether I was in Alaska or whether I was in, um, Sri Lanka. Okay. Some people's name transcends borders. Brittany, I feel like, is one of those girls. So whether she was in South Africa or not, because there was a large critique of maybe she didn't know. Maybe she didn't know the song. Maybe she didn't know the performance. And surely she knew who she was. So she comes out with this outfit. One of the fan pages says, "Oh wow, a Britney inspired outfit," and she's like, "Actually, no, she's not inspired by her, whatever." Basically saying, "Sorry to that girl, I don't know that girl." And that was another thing too. When I made that TikTok video, a lot of the girls were like, "Oh, you're lying on her. You're lying on her. She never said she didn't know her." Sister, that is a reference from Kiki Palmer's. Sorry to that man, I have no clue who that man is, and that's the thing. Like something as simple as that is still a cultural disconnect that the girls are not getting. And what's so different about her is she has everything to have the pretty privilege, but it's not working. I mean, she's talented, she's beautiful, she has the look, the exotical look. I don't see why record labels are not just throwing money at her, but it's not connecting because she seems to have this nasty kind of attitude. Now, they was calling the girl uppity. I'm okay with uppity. I'm okay with cocky. I'm okay with arrogant. I don't like disrespectful. And there are ways for you to be uppity. There are ways for you to be cocky or arrogant, even without it being disrespectful. You get what I'm saying? Like it's very hard to do, but it's possible. I've seen it. Like I'm really confident in myself and whatever. So she pretty much shades, no, that's not Britney inspired when clearly it is. And then also too, like art imitates and goes in cycles. Of course, there are all of these samples, all of this music that you're sampling. You don't think that you're not getting no inspiration from nowhere. And it's no surprise and no secret that they're kind of like trying to make you this pop star. So they're literally pulling from the early 2000s pop girl, vault and coming out, and but whether you knew or not, that's what it was inspired from. And not for nothing, like, Africans in African countries, they really aspire and look to America. I'm sure that the UK is one of those places, but when it comes to Black culture, they're looking at us. They're not looking at them in London. I'm sorry. They're not. We're looking at the girls in London for their fashions and their makeup. But when it comes to culture and swag, they're looking at us. Stop me when I'm lying, somebody. And I'm not saying this to be divisive. I'm just saying this to bridge a gap because there are some subscribers here who are from the UK and who are from South Africa specifically, oddly enough. Hey, and speaking of South Africans, she has this tone of, you don't know what you're talking about, silly American. And we can feel it, even when she's wrong. Even when the outfit is inspired by Britney, we can still feel that. And it's annoying because it's like, damn, Tyler, I want to like you, but you act like you don't. And it's not like you have to come over here and immerse yourself into all of this Black American culture and period and city girls. You can still be you, but have and show some respect and reverence. That's just like me going over to any foreign country and I'm like, oh, you want some Turkish coffee? And I drink it. I'm like, ugh, terrible. She might as well have done that. Or even when like the girlies go on tour and they're doing an international tour and they come out, whether it's their native language or not, hola España, like, you know what I mean? Do the left, whatever they do. It's to make the fans know that I care enough about you as my core audience that I'm going to even have some words that you can kind of speak to and relate to. It's a sign of respect that she's lacking in. Okay. And like for everybody's like, oh well, I just don't like her because she's African. Girl, what about Tim's? We love Tim's down. She's respectful. She stays in her lane. Although she is, I don't think she was in Nigeria when she blew up. But she's obviously an African girl from the UK. That African to UK pipeline is very serious. We love Tim's. We don't have that issue with her. She stay out the way. She's not doing anything nasty. She make her music. She get her money. She gives us fashions. She gives us body. Or even and somebody more specifically like a Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah does a beautiful job at explaining and giving us pieces of his culture while maybe not even emerging himself into our culture, but being observant of it and being aware of it. That shows interest. That shows respect. And because she, was like, oh, well, I have bigger markets, Brazil is a big market, this, that, and the third. She feels like, oh, yeah, well, America, it is what it is. They're gonna get it or not. I mean, I'm pretty enough, I'm cute enough, I'm slim enough, I'm small enough, I'm talented enough. And make no mistake, she is talented. She is. But I don't understand the disconnect. I don't understand why we make these critiques and automatically we're haters. I'm not a hater, y'all. Y'all know me. If you're new here, girl, I don't give it up like that. If you chew here, drop down in the comments and let me know. I'm curious to know what you think about this situation. Is it just a part of the Tyla hate train, or can you see where I'm coming from? Drop down in the comments. Let me know. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.